Could you imagine the most electric playmaker in the entire NFL suiting up in the navy and orange next season? A bombshell trade rumor is currently tearing through social media, and if it's true, the Windy City is about to witness an absolute offensive explosion. We are talking about a franchise-altering move that wouldn't just improve the backfield. It would redefine what this team is capable of under an offensive coaching mastermind. This isn't just another rumor. This is the kind of move that creates a dynasty. Before we break down every single detail of this massive potential trade, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this with your fellow fans, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a second of the latest rumors, news, and deep dives into our team. The sparks for this fire started flying the moment the news broke. Chicago has officially hired Eric Studesville as the new running backs coach. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Studesville spent the last several years with the Miami Dolphins, where he was the architect behind one of the most terrifying ground games in professional football. And that has everyone asking the same shocking question: is he here to bring a certain superstar with him? We are talking about none other than Devon Achane. This isn't just a what if. With Studesville now in the building, the dots are connecting in a way that should have every defender in the NFC North losing sleep. Could the relationship between a coach and his star pupil be the bridge that brings elite speed to Soldier Field? Let's be real for a second. Devon Achane is a human highlight reel. Have you ever seen a player who makes professional athletes look like they're standing still? That is Achane. In his debut season, he put up astronomical numbers that felt like a glitch in a video game, averaging nearly 8 yards per carry. Think about that. Every time he touched the ball, he was practically guaranteed a first down. Even as his volume increased, he remained elite, finishing his sophomore campaign with nearly 1,000 yards, and then last year as a full-time starter, he exploded for over 1,300 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. But it's not just about the ground game. Achane has evolved into one of the premier receiving backs in the league, hauling in over 70 catches and racking up more than 500 yards through the air in back-to-back seasons. He is the ultimate chess piece. Now, I've been a vocal supporter of DeAndre Swift. He's a veteran, he's reliable, and at under $9 million, he's a solid value for the production he provides. But there are levels to this game, and Achane is on a different planet. At just 24 years old, he represents the absolute future of the position. He possesses a rare combination of home run, speed, and surprising contact balance. While some smaller backs go down at the first sign of a shoestring tackle, Achane has elite contact balance that allows him to bounce off defenders and explode into the secondary. He's basically lightning in a bottle, and putting him in a Ben Johnson offense. That's just unfair to the rest of the league. Is it even possible to defend a back who can score from anywhere on the field at any moment? Question of the day: be honest in the comments. Would you be willing to part with a high second-round pick to secure Devon Achane, or do you think that's too steep a price for a running back in today's NFL? Let's settle this in the comments below. The financial side of this potential blockbuster is where things get really interesting. If the front office decides to move on from DeAndre Swift, they clear about $7.5 million in cap space. Taking on Achane's current contract would only cost the team $5.8 million against the 2026 cap. You're actually getting younger, faster, and more productive while saving money in the short term. It's the kind of Moneyball move that could set this franchise up for years of dominance. And because Achane wasn't a 300-carry-a-year workhorse in Miami, he still has incredible tread on the tires. You're getting a fresh superstar in the absolute prime of his career. Why would the Dolphins even entertain this? Look at their situation. They are in a total transition period with a new regime and a massive, looming decision on Tua Tagovailoa's future. If they're looking to reset their cap, or if they're hesitant to pay a running back upwards of $12 million a year, which is exactly what Achane will command on the open market, they might decide to cash out now for draft capital. New regimes often want to build through their own picks, and Achane is a massive trade chip that could jumpstart their rebuild. They have a new GM and a new head coach who might see the roster through a completely different lens than the previous staff. And let's talk about the fit here in Chicago. Our head coach, Ben Johnson, is an offensive genius who lives for versatile playmakers. He doesn't just run the ball, he creates space. Imagine a backfield where defenses have to account for Achane's speed and Kyle Manangai's bruising power. Manangai, the mighty Manangai, has already proven he can handle the dirty work between the tackles. Pairing him with Achane creates a thunder and lightning dynamic that would be the most balanced and dangerous duo in the NFL. It gives Johnson two distinct weapons to keep defenses guessing on every single down. If you stack the box for Manangai, Achane beats you on the perimeter. If you play light to stop the speed, Manangai punishes you up the middle. So, how does a deal like this actually get done? We've looked at the numbers and the fit, but what about the cost? One scenario involves sending a third-round pick and DeAndre Swift to South Beach. It gives the Dolphins a starting-caliber veteran and a valuable asset to help their transition. If Miami wants to steer clear of veteran contracts, the price might shift to a third-round pick this year and a sixth-rounder in 2027. It's a clean break that lets both sides move forward. However, if the bidding war gets intense, we might see the price tag rise to a second-round pick. Now, if I'm giving up a second-rounder, I'm demanding a late-round pick in return, maybe a fifth, to make the value make sense. Is a second-round pick expensive for a back? Yes. But Devon Achane isn't just a back. He's an offensive engine. He's the kind of player who turns a boring third and long into a 60-yard house call. When you have a window to win, you don't play it safe, you go for the throat. The analytics favor this move because of his age and the fact that he is still on a manageable contract for the next year or two before the big extension kicks in. The energy around this rumor is real because it signals a change in the way this organization operates. We aren't just looking for competent players to fill holes. We are hunting for elite, game-changing talent. While the current pairing of Swift and Manangai is solid and would likely lead to a top 15 rushing attack, the addition of Achane elevates the entire ceiling of the team to number one. It turns this offense from a group that can win into a group that cannot be stopped. Imagine the play-action possibilities when defenses are terrified of Achane leaking out of the backfield. We also have to consider the Studsville factor. Coaches often have their guys, players they trust, players they know how to motivate, and players they've spent years developing. Eric Studsville knows Achane's strengths and weaknesses better than anyone. He knows exactly which buttons to push to get that 1,300-yard production out of him again. That level of familiarity reduces the bust potential of a trade significantly. You aren't guessing if he fits the culture. You have the guy who built the culture he thrived in. We'll have to wait and see if Miami is truly ready to move their most explosive asset, but with the Studsville connection and Ben Johnson's clear desire for elite weapons, the smoke is starting to get very thick. We have the cap room, we have the coaching staff, and we have the perfect role waiting for him. This could be the move that finally brings a championship trophy back to the lakefront. Imagine the roar of the crowd when Achane breaks his first long touchdown run in a Chicago uniform. It's the kind of moment we've been waiting years for. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of the best community in football. We'll be tracking every single lead on this story as it develops, so make sure you've got those notifications turned on. We are on the road to 157,000 subscribers, and every single one of you makes this journey possible. Let's keep building this community together, and keep the conversation going. I'll be jumping into the comments to see what you guys think about these trade packages. Until next time, stay loud, stay passionate, and as always, bear down.